pursue the Aristotle's theory of revolution. We have seen in the previous lecture about the Aristotle's philosophy, where we have found that Aristotle has talked about the changing nature of government. He has seen that the government keeps changing due to he has correlated with the concept called the change, which is present in our nature. Means every atom has to change according to the time and according to the situation. So he was trying to apply the science or the physics and the chemistry in the political science also, that according to the Aristotle, the human behavior will not be stagnant enough. It will change according to the time, according to some certain situation. So related to that, we have discussed about there are various forms of the government which has been discussed by the Aristotle. So we have seen that how Aristotle has mentioned on the number of on the basis of numbers, as well as on the basis of what you call the corrupt or the pure or the impurity form of the government. He has distributed. There are total six forms of the government is there. So I'm not going to discuss you what are those important forms of the government has been discussed by the Aristotle. In today's lecture, we are going to discuss the Aristotle theory on justice. So, in today's class, I am going to tell you that what important thing has been mentioned by the Aristotle related to the revolution. So, first of all, we need to understand the what is the meaning of the term revolution. As all of you are aware about the fact that revolution means some certain change, some certain drastic change, not the small change. For example, if there is a sudden change in this classroom, if we are sitting in the classroom and if we can change the color and we can say change the bench and all, so do we call it as a kind of revolution? So according to the Aristotle, if you can see, this is not the revolution. This the revolution is a very different thing. According to the Aristotle, the revolution means the fundamental change in the power. If in the college the authority has been changed, the power decision making person will change from one person to the another person, that will call as a kind of revolution. So according to the Aristotle, when the decision maker used to change, either it is in the form of monarch to the aristocracy or the aristocracy to the oligarchy, if there is any change takes place in the power organization structure, that will be called as a revolution. The second thing which he has said, that constitution, the written change in the written rule and the written laws, those things are also called as a kind of revolution. Means whatsoever the written document is there, for example the Indian constitution is there, and if the Indian constitution will be replaced by the United Nations constitution, that will be also considered as a kind of revolution according to the Aristotle. Means Aristotle has seen the revolution means a change which impacts the nature of the state, a change which will not only impact on the smaller area, but it will make the impact on whole state. So he was talking about in that manner, that the revolution will make the impact on whole state and whole nature of the state. As he has discussed about the revolution in his book The Politics, where he has said that the revolution is more political one rather than the legal one. Means most point of time Aristotle has witnessed in the Athens and during that period of the time in the Greece too, that the monarch has been converted into the tyranny, or the oligarchy has been converted into the aristocracy, or the polity has been deformed into the nature of a democracy. So he has seen that there was a certain there was change in the nature of government, there was the change in the nature of the political system. So he was talking about that most point of time the revolution has always taken place in the form of changing government, changing a political condition, or changing political authorities by one person to the another person, or by replacing a person with the B person, is also considered as a revolution. So he has seen a sudden change which will impact the nature of state, that will be also called as a revolution. He has said that revolution can be peaceful, as well as the armed one. मतलब कि जो क्रांति है वो मतलब कि हिंसक भी हो सकती है, अहिंसक भी हो सकती है. The revolution can be in the form of violent method, or it can be also in the form of the non-violent model can also be possible. So what he has said that the certain change in the nature of politics, or in the ruling, or in the decision making body, so that is been majorly he has considered as a kind of revolution. What are those important measures we need to take related to the revolution? So, according to the Aristotle, the revolution may take the form of change in the terms of the constitution. Means the document, the written document which has been mentioned by one person will be changed by self or by the other. That will be called as a kind of revolution. And most point of time, what Aristotle has said, the written document, the written constitution always been changed when we have changed the authority, when we have changed the government. Wherever the government has been changed, the constitution also, with the change of government, the constitution also has been changed, except in the one condition, when the monarch has been converted into the tyranny. So after means for being a monarch, now the person has nature has changed. Now person is more self-oriented, as self-centered kind of person. So he has withdrawn all the written rules. Now he has changed the constitution. That will be also considered as a revolution. So he was talking about in that manner. What he said, the revolution always try to grasp the political power. As I have mentioned you, that from the oligarchy to the aristocracy, from aristocracy to the polity, what kind of government can be possible? So he was trying to say that when one person or group of people or many people are trying to grab the political power without changing the constitution, that will can also be considered as a kind of revolution. So he has said that many point of time it has been witnessed that without changing the constitution, the government has means replaced, the government has been changed. So he was talking about, for example, in current contemporary era, the A party government is there. If after next 4 years the B party will come as a form, will form the government, according to the Aristotle, this is also called as a revolution. The change of the government, the change of the government can be there. So according to him, the change in the political system, either it is the change of the decision maker or the constitution, that he has considered as a revolution. So till now we have discussed about the what we call the what is the revolution is there. Now the second question arises in front of us is the why this revolution occurs. What are those important reason behind this change or behind this revolution? Aristotle has mentioned in his book 5 that there are basically two types of revolution. One is the general, other is the specific. What is the general causes of the revolution is there? According to the Aristotle, the major cause of the revolution is the inequality. What is the inequality? The what you call the Aristotle has said, when one person starts treating other person in a unequal basis, that create a kind of distance between the people, and the distance increases at such a manner that person try to throw the particular person and try to grab the power. So, according to the Aristotle, this is one of the basic cause behind the revolution, that craving of man for the equality, and the equality has two character, that absolute and the proportional. What is the absolute equality and what is the proportional equality? Absolute equality means that full right is been given to all the person. Means what we call the equal right to all the person. All the boys and the girls are equal in the classroom. What is the proportional equality is there? If I have two apples, so I will distribute the one apple to both the student. Means the distribution of the equipment in a equal basis, rather than because the apple cannot be absolute manner. Absolute means the equality of opportunity, the equality to equality of freedom, means those kind of rights can be considered as absolute. whereas the proportional equality will consider which the things which can be distributed among the people, the things which can be distributed among the persons. So he was talking about in that manner. The next thing which Aristotle has talked about, that strong desire for justice. Many people are not being treated as an equal basis, so the people try to grab the get the justice for the inequality, for the discrimination. According to that, it brings the revolution. It brings the change in the nature of government. So he has said that most point of time, due to the unequal treatment to the individual. For example, if there is aristocracy class is there, within that aristocracy, one person has started taking the initiative, and he or she thinks that the person is taking the decision is the correct, and the others are no value. So what will happen? It will create a distance between one person to the another person, and it will make a such kind of system where the other person will try to take the revenge from a person. So what will happen? The person will try to capture the power in the form of tyranny, or in the form of the monarch. So what Aristotle was trying to say, that due to the unequal treatment to the fellow man, it creates a kind of revolution. Not only revolution in the mind of the person, but it also converts into the truth, into the reality. And the second, the injustice which has been seen by some people. So they also try to change the nature of government, so they can use the power to change the government. So inequality is the general cause, means it can apply in all the forms of the government. Either it is monarchy is there, either it is aristocracy is there. So the general cause of the revolution will apply in everywhere, means it is the basic cause. And we can change in the form of government, we can change in the form of constitution, we can change in the form of changing power also. So Aristotle has mentioned the general cause can apply in all the things. Whereas if you can remember that how the Aristotle has talked about the corrective justice, or the participatory kind of justice is there, Aristotle has talked about. So same thing here. According to the Aristotle, the revolution is also the particular causes of revolution is there. Revolution is there. According to the Aristotle, there are some specific causes are there. It will not apply to all of them. First, he has talked about that some person have desire to gain the power and the profit. So what will happen if there is a monarch is there, and monarch want to rule the system, but now he want to gain the more power. So what will happen? He will change the nature of state. He will change the nature of state towards more self-centered or kind of owning thing, rather than the welfare work, rather than doing or giving benefit to the others. And the profit motive, the person now, earlier the person was very much welfare kind of person was there, means philanthropist kind of person was there. Now the first person nature has been changed into the self-centered or profit-based kind of person. So this is one of the important cause behind the change in the form of government. The next, Aristotle has talked about the universal desire for honor and the prestige. Many point of time, Aristotle has realized after studying the 158 constitution in the world that many person try to desire themselves to get the honor and the prestige. Many people try to get the desire that they can be honored, they can have some certain kind of respect, dignity is there. Like in this classroom, I hope that all of you are also looking towards honor, prestige, and dignity. So same thing is also there. Many point of time, what happens that due to achieve this honor and the prestige, the people do the revolt against the persisting system. They try to change the government and to grab the power to get their honor and the prestige. So according to the Aristotle, this is the another cause behind the revolution in any state. The next cause, which Aristotle has talked about, the possession of sovereign power by the individual or the group. Many point of time, Aristotle has mentioned due to the there is no sovereignty lies in the hands of normal fellow man. So many point of time the person try to grab the sovereignty by the individual or by the group. That is also one of the important causes behind the revolution. For example, a government is there, and some few persons are seeing that how I can increase the honor and the prestige. So what I will do, I will try to change the sovereign power. The sovereign power will not lies in the hands of the current elite, current ruling class, but in the hands of the others. So many point of time, the Aristotle has said that the particular cause of the revolution is the possession by individual to get the power. Sovereign power means they are the supreme. No one can put them down. Whatever they will say, that will be considered as a kind of rule. So he has mentioned about that thing. The next thing which has been mentioned by the Aristotle is the disproportionate increase of power and the wealth in any of the state. Means if any state the power has been increased in a very unprecedented manner, so that will also make the revolution. For example, in this classroom you can imagine 25 students are there, one student have gathered more and more power. So what will happen, other class student will also try to grab those kind of power which the one person is attaining. So it will increase the competition between the class, and it will lead that the person power need to be changed by the another person. So according to the Aristotle, this is one of the important cause behind the revolution, that this proportionate increase of power in the one group or in the few persons. So he has mentioned about that. The next thing, elections introduces the moral degradation kept up in the selection of some people. Means he has said that some people always try to what you call the moral degradation is there. They don't have the morality, they don't have the ethics, so they are more business oriented kind of thing. Cost benefit analysis is there. So Aristotle has said that due to this, we can see in the change of government. The last, which the Aristotle has said in the particular cause of the revolution is there is more. If there is more power concentrated in one person or the particular group or the section, it also brings a kind of revolution. For example, if in this classroom the power is concentrated on the Unnati, so what will happen? The some person will try to grab the power and try to remove the Unnati and to get the power. So these are the few important causes, particular causes of the revolution are there. Along with this, what Aristotle has said that Aristotle has not considered the revolution is a good for the state. Aristotle has said that revolution may harm the state, may harm the nature of the state. So Aristotle has suggested some remedies that how we can protect us from the revolution or from the change of the government or from the change in the nature of constitution. So Aristotle has suggested the power should not be considered concentrated on the one person's hand. The power should be distributed among several persons in the state. If the power will be distributed among the people, so it will not propel one person by the another person, that the other person can also grab the power. The next thing which Aristotle has talked about, that how we can prevent the revolution, that he has said that states should not do any forms of the discrimination, either on the basis of color, in the basis of gender, either on the basis of the money. So the state should not treat any person in a unequal basis or on the basis of inequality. So he has talked about that. The next thing which Aristotle has talked about, that we always gives the honors and the rewards to each officials in time to time, so that they build their trust towards the state, they build their contribution towards the state. And the last, what he has talked about, that political offices should be within the reach of every individual, and means he has said that all the offices should be reached by the individual in the very early manner. Apart from that, Aristotle has also mentioned the specific causes of the solution. What are those specific causes? Specific solutions are there. Specific solutions he has mentioned about the oligarchy and the tyrannies. What he has suggested, that the tyrant and the oligarchies should not make any kind of aggressive policy, because the aggressive policy always brings the what you call provokes the other, and that makes the change in the nature of government. So he was talking about an aggressive policy. The next thing which Aristotle has talked about, he should always warn people about the constant fear and invasion from the outside. Means he has said that there is always been a constant threat is there that people will attack from the outside. So we can always make some certain kind of protection, certain kind of security. He has said that the philosopher king, or sorry, the tyrant can keep the power busy, never allow them to remain vertigo and the lethargy. Means he said that oligarchy and the tyrants can what you call remain vertigo, and the religious one should be there. And so what I'm talking to you is that Aristotle has basically talked about the emotional and the ethical principle. He said on the basis of ethical principles we can protect and we can overcome from the revolution, or we can prevent the revolution in the state, because he has seen that revolution is one of the important key things are there in the state. So he never have seen that the revolution is good. Now if we can do the analysis of the Aristotle's theory of revolution, we can say that Aristotle has tried to give the state theory of revolution in a very systematic manner. One hand, he has said that general cause is there of the revolution, and the other is the specific or the particular cause of the revolution is there. There he has talked about the monarchy and all. So overall, we can say that the criteria, the division which has been made by the Aristotle in his book, The Politics, is quite correct. That most point of time we have witnessed in the modern era also the change in the nature of the government, the change in the nature of the constitution. It is due to the change in the government, or government structure is there. The next thing, which also quite correct, that after a certain point of time or after a certain period, the people used to try to change the constitution according to their change need and the requirement. So he has talked about in that manner that we can change the constitution from time to time according to our needs and according to our demands. So this is also one of the key thing. The next few negative points are there. What are those negative points are there? The concept of the theory which has been given by the Aristotle related to the revolution, it has been said that Aristotle has only considered as a political change as a kind of revolution, but nowhere Aristotle has talked about the economic change, that how the capitalist system can be removed or replaced by the socialist system. So how, what we call this kind of thing, because in the socialist state we can see that the state controls all the power and distributes the goods among the person. So this is one of the important critique, because nowhere Aristotle has talked about the division between the groups and the society. Aristotle has taken the all the person in a one group basis. So this is one of the important critique. The next critique, next negative point according to the Aristotle is related to the theory of revolution is Aristotle has not mentioned that what you call, what are those important criteria, what are those important things which can apply in the modern era. Aristotle has only considered the thing related to the political change, the change in the monarch to the tyranny, the oligarchy to the aristocracy. So that will be only considered as a kind of revolution. So these are the few negative points, but overall the theory of revolution which has been given by the Aristotle is quite correct, and still it is applicable. And if we can conclude the topic Aristotle revolution, we can say that Aristotle was trying to give the theory of revolution in a two specific manner. First is the general, where he has seen that that all the persons are not disobeying the state, and the change will impact not only the one person but to overall the state. So we can say it can be said that the Aristotle has tried to give more emphasis on the political one, because he has seen that how the political decisions and the issues are always been driven by the economy. The economy always plays important role to drive the state. So we can say that Aristotle has talked about quite correctly that that revolution is one of the important forms through which we can observe the change in the government, change in the constitution, change in the nature of power. So it was quite correct, and this was overall the theory of Aristotle theory of revolution was there. If there is any questions or the queries are there related to this, so you can ask me. अगर किसी कोई स्टूडेंट को कोई डाउट है, कोई क्वेरी है, कोई प्रॉब्लम है, तो आप पूछ सकते हो.
So, how do government structure inside revolution? Can you explain it more?
Government structure means what kind of government structure you are talking about? You're talking about legislature, executive, judiciary, or something else?
Yes, sir.
See, the government structure is there. For example, each government have very different kind of political structure is there. Under the monarch is the one of the important decision making body. One person will take the decision, but the person always take the decision on the basis after consulting the various ministers. So under the monarch, the all the sovereign power will lies in the hands of the monarch, but little bit power related to decision making will be given to the ministers. Under the aristocracy, what will happen? Most of the person whosoever the ruler will be there, the decision making person will be there. So those person 5, 10, 15, 20, those person always sit together and they will take the decision rather than in the monarch the ruler has tried to take that suggestion from the various minister. In the aristocracy there is no role of the ministership is there, but there can be also, but importantly what has happened that the group of people are very elite one. These in the aristocracy, the group of people are not the normal man. Means they are always been a educated person, and they always have some certain kind of dream is there to achieve some certain kind of thing. So, what in that form of the government, you can say that there can be the parliament can be there, legislature will be there, executive will be there, judiciary will be there. Under the monarch, the ruler is one, and he is taking the suggestions from the various ministers which has been appointed by the monarch. On the other hand, in the aristocracy, the all the power seeker persons have made the group, and all the persons are respecting each other, and whenever they are trying to take the decision, their decision is based on the consensus rather than the one person. So means you can say that the oligarchy class or the aristocracy class is still itself, it is a kind of legislature is there as well as the executive is there. The next third form of the government is the polity or the democracy. In the polity and the democracy, we can see in the current contemporary India, that the parliament is there, legislature is there, Rajya Sabha is there, state assembly is there. So we can say that according to the Aristotle, the what you call the form of the government under the polity and the democracy will apply in the current era. Whatsoever we can see, either it is the decision making body called as a House of Lords or House of Commons or the Senate or the House of Commons, that can be there, or we can see in the terms of the Indian Constitution, Parliament is been there. So इसको हम कह सकते हैं.
Okay, sir.
So any student have any other further more queries?
So I had a question. So Aristotle believed that the best form of government was monarchy, but at the same time, for the remedies for revolution, he said that abundant political power should not be concentrated in the hands of one man. But a monarch is technically one man. So I had a doubt.
Okay, very good question, Unnati. See, one thing I would like to clarify before answering your question. He has said that the three best form of the government is the pure. Either it is monarch, either it is the aristocracy, either it is the polity. He has said all the three pure form of the government is the best form of the government according to him. The second thing, I will come to your question that he has said that the power should not be concentrated in the one man. What he was saying that The power means the decision making capacity. Like as I have mentioned you, that monarch always takes the decision on the basis of after consulting the what you call the various ministers or various recruited ministers. Here, Aristotle was trying to say that the monarch will not put his or her own word, his word over the ministers. Means he will take the consult. For example, if in this classroom, if I need to take the decision, should I start the topic, next topic, education or not? So what will happen? What I'm doing, I'm taking the suggestions from you that shall we change the means shall we continue the topic or shall we take the in the another day. So what is this? I'm not putting my thing on you that no, I'm going to start the next topic. I'm consulting from you. So I'm not concentrating all the powers in my hand, but I'm also giving the power to you. Same thing like that in the monarch. What Aristotle has said, the power will not be concentrated in one man. Means overall, the power is there in the monarch, but literally the power is also shared with the ministers also. So that was the important point.
Yes, sir, understood. Thank you.
Any other student have any query questions?